How can you become less anxious about publishing? That's the topic I'm addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray-Grant, the publication coach, still in pandemic mode. I have a question from Michelle Roberge, a writer based in Vincennes, France. Here's what she's asked by email. I am very comfortable with writing and editing, both of which I enjoy, but I strongly resist hitting the post button for my blog. When the deadline arrives, I'm always so anxious that I often postpone. I don't think that I'm being perfectionistic about editing, but I don't know what's going on. Can you give me any advice? Thanks for your question, Michelle. Let me say that I'm not a psychologist, but I have been closely exposed to anxiety through one of my children who has a diagnosed anxiety disorder. Anxiety can be debilitating. If you want to deal with your own anxiety, I highly recommend taking a look at the book Mind Over Mood by Greenberger and Podesky. Link is in the show notes below. This book uses cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, a technique developed by Dr. Aaron Beck in the 1960s. Some therapists are trained in using CBT, and generally speaking, their services are very expensive. But you can do CBT on yourself by following the exercises in this book. In fact, I highly recommend Mind Over Mood to anyone who has any anxiety associated with writing at whatever stage it occurs, researching, writing, editing, or publishing. CBT is not a type of positive thinking. Instead, it focuses on identifying your negative thoughts and making a rational plan for dealing with them. CBT is based on the idea that we all have automatic thoughts and that many of them are negative. Some of your thoughts may include the following. There's probably an error in my blog post and it's going to make me look stupid. I don't know if I've explained myself clearly enough and my words may simply confuse readers. No one is ever going to want to read a word of what I've written. If we can learn to identify and evaluate these automatic thoughts, however, we can start thinking more realistically and productively. The key message from CBT is this: our thoughts affect our behaviors, and if we want to change our behaviors, we need to change our thoughts. If you want to use CBT to help yourself, begin by starting what's called a thought record. You can download a form at no charge from the authors of Mind Over Mood via a link I provide in the show notes below. I've also written my own blog post on the subject, and the link to that is there in the show notes as well. Dealing with anxiety will not only make publishing easier for you, it's going to improve the rest of your life as well. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from the Brazilian writer Paulo Coelho. Anxiety was born in the very same moment as mankind, and since we will never be able to master it, we will have to learn to live with it, just as we have learned to live with storms. Michelle, your question demonstrates to me the enormous power of the human mind. We are smart, hard-working, competent people, and yet we tie ourselves in knots as a result of fear. Take steps so you don't need to let fear hold you back. If you'd like to learn how to make your writing a happier and more rewarding process, check out my latest book, Your Happy First Draft. It's not available in bookstores or on Amazon. The only place you can get it is my website. Link below and in the show notes.